It's actually Money for Nothing was a situation where I was in a shop and I heard a guy going on. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have heard the story now, so I'm not going to, but they are characters who you see, real people who you see, and you write about them. And there's a tradition of great violin makers in Italy, Stradivarius and Guarneri and Amato and the Cremona in Italy. And there's a tradition of making these F-hole guitars in New York City by Italians. And it's sort of a strange parallel, D'Angelico and Cristo, and now a man called John Monteleone. And I met John Monteleone, and it was like meeting Stradivari. I'm sure it was like that. He's like Leonardo da Vinci in a way, and I dialed myself out of having a guitar, but I was just too beautiful. I mean, I just thought that I'm not in this league, but he wanted to make me a guitar. I was lucky enough to have a visit to his workshop, and he said about building me a guitar, which is an arch-top guitar with F-holes, like a violin, like John's violin. I don't have it here, it's a beautiful thing. But when he was making it for me, he'd send me little emails, and I watched him in his workshop, and he'd lean into the wood, and he'd tap it like this, and he had these little finger planes, and all these special tools, chisels that he had a real relationship with. And he'd send me these little messages saying that, and he'd sign off, he'd have a little picture of something that he was making for it, the bridge or something. And this is the world's greatest builder of the guitar at the moment, and the archtop. And he'd say things like, the chisels are calling. You know, it's time to make sawdust. And I realized, of course, that he had this compulsion to be with these chisels and his work, and it was inspiring. So I wrote the song, and it's called Monteleone. The chisels are calling. It's time to make sawdust. Steely reminders of things left to do. Monteleone, a mandolin's waiting for you. My finger plane's working, gentle persuasion. I bend to the wood and I coax it to sing. Monteleone, your new one and only will ring. Monteleone, your new one and only will ring. The rain on the window, the snow on the gravel. The seasons go by to the songs in the world. Too quick or too careless, it all could unravel. So easy could. Chisels are calling. It's back for an encore. Back to the shavings that cover the floor. Monteleone, a calling for more. Monteleone, oh, they're calling